The NB Network with Dee Sparta.
Hi, it's me, Dee. Welcome to the NB Network. And how are you doing today, my friend? I hope you're doing well. I've been tired. I've been sitting here at the desk. I'm like, okay, I'm going to record this. And I'm like, falling asleep. So, I'm like, I slept last night and I woke up early, but I usually do wake up. I don't know. Just, I was tired. And, I need my caffeine. Anyway, today in this true crime tarot reading, we're going to be covering the mystery of the lost colony of Roanoke. Now, I'm sure you heard about Roanoke. If you have, you might have heard it from school, if you learned it in school, or History Channel, or documentaries, or even in American Horror Stories. Yes, American Horror Stories did do a whole season where it was kind of like a reality TV show at first, and then follow-up reunion to in the area where Roanoke was, and the whole, mystery of what happened to these colonists who showed up from England there. Now, this is a very, very sensitive subject. When it comes to colonization, it is not done right. It was horrible. You see, the Europeans became obsessed with claiming land in North America, or what they would call the New World. And this was like way, way, way back in the late 1400s to the 1500s. The Norse landed up in Canada, and then the Spaniards were down in the Bahamas, and England was right smack in the middle, and they were landing in Virginia and North Carolina coastlines. Elizabeth, the Queen of England, wanted Sir Walter Raleigh to establish a colony there so that they could have better access to raid the to raid Spain's ships that were going back and forth from the Bahamas to Spain. Yeah, that pretty much was the motivator there, greed. Yeah, anyway. Now, I'm going to be able to go over a little bit of the history of Roanoke, and because I did a bunch of research, and also about some of the theories that there are, just kind of glance over them. But if you'd like to hear that information, please stick around here with me. If you'd rather just skip on ahead to that tarot reading, that's fine. I'll have a link down below with the chapters that I link up for you. I do it every time. And I'll see you wherever you end up going or staying. Hey, thank you for sticking around with me. Okay, and I'm like, awake. Now, in 1584, Queen Elizabeth gave Sir Walter Raleigh a royal charter to colonize North America so that they could, as I mentioned, set up a base for which England could raid Spanish treasure fleets coming and going from South and Central America colonies down there in the Bahamas area. Now, Raleigh sent the first expedition to explore the eastern coast of North America, and it landed on Roanoke Island. Now, while they were there, they met the Croatoans, and they were the Native Americans who were living there. And they actually did get along. They set good relations, and they were going to teach the British how to survive living on Roanoke Island. It seems like a great idea, right? Okay. So, two Croatoans join Sir Walter Raleigh back and on the ship to head back to England. Now, they're working, they're trying to get all the supplies they can. Excuse me. Oh, let me get some water here. Okay, I was saying, so they were, trying to learn how to live, what they would need to bring back. So, and they bring back a group of people with them. Now, with all this information, Raleigh, he sets up a second expedition. And it was a horrible, horrible experience. It fell apart. The good relations between the Croatoans and the British just crumbled. You see, the Croatoans did not feel that the British were taking care of the land. In fact, they thought that we were being wasteful of the resources. And they were like, no. So they would fight and argue because they saw it as the England was there exploiting the land, and they felt exploited, and that was probably definitely happening. Most of the expedition ended up returning back to England, except for a very small group of 15 men. Now, at these times, only men have been coming and going, okay? And those 15 were there to try and hold the section and set up a fort for Raleigh to claim Roanoke Island. Yeah, they just think they can go on in and just claim an island that there's already people living on. Disgusting. Anyway, in 1587, a ship with 115 men, women, and children, including John White, who is a friend of Sir Walter Raleigh, they land on the eastern coast of what we now know as North Carolina. This settlement would have been the very first in the New World. Having people coming and going and setting up forts was different from having a settlement where families would start living and like form a town, Yeah. This was the very first time that women and children were actually allowed on these trips. Now, when White and the colonists arrived, they were expecting to see the 15 men there and have things set up. However, no one was there. And all that remained was one skeleton. You heard me, one skeleton. And the rest were gone. So, White is like, okay, I'm going to go to the Croatoans and I'm going to try and just reestablish, reconnect, and try and rebuild and form a good relation with them. And the Croatoans were pretty much enough, fuck you. They refused to talk to John White, to see him, anything. And that's fine by me, Anyway, well, they didn't need to fuck you, but that's the pretty much the essence of the situation, and in my paraphrasing, okay. Now, not having the supplies that they needed was making it extremely difficult for this small group of people to survive. And having the restrained relations with the Croatoans just made it so difficult. So, John White, who is kind of like the mayor or governor, different places I researched would call him the mayor, others would call him the governor, So that's why I'm saying mayor, governor, because I saw two different things in several places. All right, well, he knew he needed to get supplies. It had to happen and bring them back to the colony. And so he gets on a ship and heads back to England. He figures he'll get more manpower and he will get a bunch of supplies. Excuse me. However, there was a problem. Yeah. There was a war started. Yep. John White ended up staying in England for 3 years because the Spanish Armada had attacked England. Now, it made it just impossible for John to charter any ship to get back to. He's got his granddaughter, his daughter, his wife, kids. He's got family there, and he they've been there for 3 years. Okay, if I were him, I would be so stressed and so scared and so worried. Now, John finally gets back, and it's like August 18th of 1590. And the reason why they knew August 18th is because that was his granddaughter. It would have been his granddaughter's 3rd birthday. His granddaughter was the first European or British child born in the New World. Yeah, so he shows up, and Roanoke is just completely deserted. Gone. There was zero sign of any kind of struggle, no battle, nor any kind of foul play. Now, he had left instructions for the colonists. If they had to leave against their will, to make a Maltese cross and carve it into a tree. It wasn't there. It wasn't there. So he but what they found was the letter CRO carved into a tree, and then on a fence, Croatoan, the whole word spelt out. It could be that they were thinking, oh, we'll just write Croatoan here on the tree to let them know we're with the Croatoans. Or, and then they ran out of room and went, oh, well, let's put it on the fence instead because we have more room. I don't know. I don't know why, but that's what happened. Now, there's a bunch of theories, but before we get into theories, the reason why... I am so freaking tongue-tied. Okay. Now, since the colonists had disappeared, John White wanted to go to the island, Roanoke Island, Croatoan Island, that island where the Croatoans were. However, the weather was awful. There was too much storm. They couldn't travel there. And so he had to turn around and just head right back to England. Now, in 1590, they started trying to do more investigations into what happened at Roanoke. And Sir Walter Raleigh, he was like, where are the people? What happened? So he goes off on his own. He gets his own ship, pays for the sailors out of his own money. He's like, we're going. And we're going to go figure out what the fuckery happened, right? So he's doing this, and they ended up reaching Virginia. And once again, a severe storm forced them to turn back around and go head back to England. I do speak well sometimes. Now, because Sir Walter Raleigh went off on his own with his own money to investigate Roanoke, when he got back to England, he was fucking arrested for treason. So he could not organize any more missions to try and go back to Roanoke. Mind blown. Wow. But in 1603, somebody else is like, wait a minute. I'm going to try. His name was Bartholomew Gilbert. Once again, they're coming in and a storm blows them off course. They end up landing on a shore, get attacked and killed. There was just a few people left, and they just got back in the boat and went back to England. And there was no time to try and figure out what happened to the colonists. And it started to seem that there would never be an answer to the mystery of these disappearances. And that is pretty sad. Now, there's lots of theories. There's the colonists were able to form good relations with the Croatoans and merged their and went to live there with them. There's also Croatoan, the word, they think it's all spiritual and mystical. Maybe there's something, because now I love me some Edgar Allan Poe, all right? Well, he went missing for a few days. And you're like, what does this have to do with Croatoan? Well, just. When he came back, the dude was fucking delirious and just crazed. Poor guy, didn't know what's going on, and he ends up dying. And no one knows exactly what his death was. You can't find a death certificate or nothing. But the last word he said was Croatoan. That makes me go, what? And then there's been other disappearances in the 19th and 20th century that had people where people were in prison and disappeared. Yeah, so they're like, and Croatoan was near, I don't know how it was exactly, they would find it carved into a wall or something. A horror writer went to take to sleep and had the word Croatoan carved into one of the posts in the bed. And it was also the last word written in it was carved on his post. Then there was somebody else, a ship that crashed near Croatoan Island, and the whole crew is missing. So they showed up, poof, gone, right? Just poofied. And that captain in his logbook, he had just written the word Croatoan. On the last page, it was right there. Boom, that's it. And then they all disappear. Interesting, right? So there's I think people are trying to say there's like some kind of curse. Something happens spiritually. I don't know. Some believe that they were just murdered. The colonists were just killed. Because in 1607, Captain John Smith, he tried to find out what was going on and wrote what happened. And he supposedly talked to Chief Powhatan and told him that he killed the people of the colony to retaliate against them for living with another tribe that refused to ally with him. And allegedly, of course, the chief showed Smith items he took from Roanoke to support his story. There's a musket and brass mortar, pestle. However, it is believed that it was not the 115 colonists that he had killed. They believe that it was actually, this massacre were 15 men who disappeared with just that skeleton living there. Remember, they just poof. And it seemed to fit more with their disappearance. Now, in 1609, the story about the chief reaches England, and King James and the Royal Council decide, they just declare it's this chief's fault for the missing colonists. It's done. It's over. You know? But that doesn't answer everything, that does it? No. Some say there was cannibalism, you know. They ended up starving to death, and yeah. But there would still be some kind of remains. You know, the people, their town, they actually, everything was deconstructed. The buildings were not ruined forcibly. It was carefully all just taken down, and everything was packed up like they had left, but nobody knows. Some say maybe there was a disease. They got sick and it killed them off. And, you know, we talked about the supernatural stuff, like in American Horror Story. It was all witchcraft. Because, you know, witches just, you know, they just... And here's something really crazy. Now, there's these things, the Dare Stones. Now, they're called this because John White's daughter was named Eleanor Dare, and it's believed that some people found these stones with her name on them, and she had carved in things about what happened, like a diary in the stone. Most of these it's found just to be a hoax, but there was one that they thought, well, this could be it. And all it said was, Ananias Dare and Virginia went hence unto heaven, 1591. Anaya Englishman's shoe, Joe and Anaya Englishman's shoe. That's all it said. And then it said, on the other side, it reported that only 7 of the Roanoke colonists were left alive, and that Native Americans had murdered the rest. And it was signed EDW, which people believe was Eleanor White Dare. Now, like a total like 47 stones are supposedly found, but these ones people believe were just hoaxes. A stone, because there was a stone dated from 1599 that stated that Eleanor Dare had died, and that she had named her daughter Agnes, and that who did survive her. Now this, where were they? How did these, you know, it was just crazy, crazy stuff. But the stones, when the Smithsonian Institute looked at it, and a historian from Harvard were like, all but that first stone was done with a drill, which could not have been any of the colonists. So, yeah, we don't know really what happened. And it's always, you know, hey, it could have been aliens. Who knows, you know? Actually, no. I don't know. But we'll do a card reading. We'll see if we learn anything. So let's get to it. I'll see ya. Hey, welcome back. Let's get into this tarot reading, a psychic reading here of the mystery of the lost colony of Roanoke. Got it? Please. Let me remind everyone, everything here is alleged and it's done for entertainment purposes. So let's see what we got here. Kind of did something a little different setup. Oh, the 6 of Cups. Huh. Passing of flowers here. Interesting. 6 of Cups. Ten of Pentacles and the Sun. Okay. Actually, I think the order was like that. Well, this is failure. Everything. The plan was to be prosperous and celebrate. And the 6 of Cups, it has to do with your communication. Okay. Seeking help to get riches, failure. Well, we know that. There was a dispute between... Let's drop the card here. We got the Hermit, the Chariot. I think I see where this is going. I do. Yeah, the Five of Cups. So, somebody wanted to go. Figured we need to move. We can't stay here. We're going to die. We're going to die. Yeah. We need to go now. Because this is being isolated, being cut off from everything. This is that we need to leave. And this is treachery. Somebody's like causing a problem. Somebody in the colony, I think there was a fighting in the colonists of what to do. If anyone, let's see what else we got here. So they're fighting about staying, going, and some kind of treachery happens. The Knight of Cups. Wait, that's the Knight? Yeah. Wonder what she's up to. The Fool. And make sure you can still see these cards. Yeah. Sorry. The Nine of Wands. Okay, so. Looking at with the order, here is. This is trying to get a deal. We're isolated. And the Nine of Cups, it's usually, it's following your heart's desire. It's going out, we're going to do this. It's a passion. And sometimes it's romantic. So that's why I'm like, that is. And then we got the Fool. And that's, take a risk, take a chance. You need to go. So, and that is over here. The Ten of Pentacles, to get the resources that we need to leave. There's the Chariot. Take a risk. So they're fighting about, it's too risky, or should we, or is it too risky to stay? And then the Nine of Wands is reversed. That bothers me a little, because it bothers me a lot, because here they're saying, here, failure, treachery, and then we got weakness. They're weak. Oh gosh, with this, somebody was in love with someone. Huh. So they're all fighting. So what happened to you guys? Come on. Tell me. Let's see here. Okay. Ace of Wands. The King of Pentacles. Now we're figuring out. Okay. So somebody is trying to take leadership there and say, we need to start fresh. We need to start over. We're here. There's more to this new world. Let's go. Got the Ten of Pentacles. This time it's right side up. Or was that way before? Yeah. Well, I told you, romance. They fighting over a woman here? I'm starting to really sense that there is a relationship. Jealousy. So much fighting. So much. I think. Yeah, failure. Got that. Some of these same cards you notice are coming up over and over again. The bound woman. Failure, bound woman. And the hangman. Oh, okay. There's a need to be looking at the other side, but no one's willing to. I think everyone has their own I'm just gonna give up. I'm just gonna give up. You just gotta give up. That's why they tore down the homes. It was just, we give up. We have to go. Secrets. The hermit. Isolation. I think they went someplace. Not to Croatoan Island. Four of Cups. Trying to start a home. It looks like here, this whole thing, there's a lot of avoidance. There's weakness, greed, oppression, jealousy. There's a shit ton of mixed emotions, folks. I mean, everyone's just like on each other. But they're gonna give up. I think... No. I'm looking at these imageries and the order, and folks, they need rest. We retreat. We lay ourselves down. I see them dismantling this stuff in hopes it could restore the land. We have done wrong. Wow. We need to start fresh. We have to. This is abandonment, abandoning everything so that they can get be content and rest emotionally, just emotion bliss. This is the way it has to be. John's never coming back. I'm worried. I want to pull out another deck because I have a feeling this is really a sad story. There are people who were fighting amongst each other, and they just gave up. And they were they want to do the right thing. There's the Emperor, there's the Ace, and the Fool. Okay, now, the Emperor reversed. He's a bad guy. He's bad. Okay. It's just, as I was seeing, tons of chaos, trying to find something new and take a risk. And it's like, well, their traveling to Roanoke was taking that risk. And then I have the Seven of Swords and the Eight of Swords. And with this chaos, it's lots of regret. We're looking back. We shouldn't have come here. This was bad. This was bad. We're oppressed. We're stuck. We can't go anywhere. Our dream... Oh, this is crumbled. And then we have... Ooh. The moon. Everything's crashing down. I need to rest. I need hope. I need help. Look to the stars for answers. They're praying. There's a lot of praying. God, what should we do? What should we do? And I see a feminine figure stepping up and saying, we need to start all over. Oh my gosh. Disapproval. There's just, it was just a shit ton of fighting, folks. They were desperate. They were really desperate. But there's the Hangman reversed. A stubbornness. But they gave up in the end. It was just, we give up. They just didn't care anymore, honestly. They were being very stubborn. They were very stubborn about not trying to get help again from the Croatoans. They were refusing the help, relying on God. He's going to take care of us. We've been abandoned. We've lost everything. That's, yeah. They just, I think, I don't think they really went. They wanted to go somewhere. They might have tried to head somewhere, and along the way, I think they were just giving up being. Yeah, they gave up. We're not staying here. We're going to give this land back to the Croatoans. Give it back to them. It's not ours, and we're leaving. There was a fort nearby, if I recall, and they were going to try and make it there, and they got lost. They got lost. They just got lost and ended up dying from starvation, dehydration, sickness. That's really sad. So, nothing mystical, no aliens, sorry, nothing good like that. It's just, they felt deserted and abandoned by John because he didn't come for so many years. And they felt that they couldn't just stay waiting anymore. And because they didn't stay waiting, they ended up getting lost. And yeah. All right, folks. Please, if you like these videos, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to this channel. Man, I want to get to 2,000. Please, please, please help me. Help me get there. I would love to do something big. You know what? I would do a live personal tarot readings. If I get if I get to 5,000, 10 people will get personalized live tarot readings. I'll do that. I'll give 5 people if I get to 2,000. Come on. Come on. Come on. You heard me right. I will do a live and just do a 3-card reading for people or more. Depends if how the spirit leads me. And also, remember to be kind to yourself and be kind to others. I love you guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye.